Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk, brought to you by the Detroit Lions on the Prowl. And today we are going to look at two GM possibilities from inside the organization and what you think about those people, get you a little bit more educated on who those people are. We're going to have comment cards. That's your comments, and we're going to go into those. We have the Detroit Lions news and rumors, as we always do. And we have the last segment this week of Fantasy with the Featherman. And so he'll be here today as well. We're going to go over the injury report and some coaches that may not be able to coach this weekend. So before we get into all of that, I'm going to bring in my main man, Kurt Steele.
What up, though? Hello, people. Happy holidays. I hope everyone has a safe and Merry Christmas. All right, you know what it is. We are Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news. Join the family. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, we premiere a new show weekdays, 11 o'clock over on our YouTube channel, and we enjoy bringing that to you. Join the Super Chat. It's the way to get your comments up front on the program. Hey, comment to the videos, share the videos, like them, answer the question of the day. All of these things help us get this content to more Lions fans, just like yourself. Now, let's get this thing started
right now.
Hey, welcome back to the show, people. You know we're doing a very, very Merry Christmas episode. So let's get to these comment cards. Jim, you up first.
Okay, my first comment is for Papillion, and people need to open their eyes with this Detroit team. The problems start at the very top. Rod Wood needs to go. I still don't understand the Rod Wood hate. Anyway, this guy is making decisions that affect the team on the field, when by his own admission, he knows literally nothing about the game itself. It's like having a bean counter at the CEO of Exxon, a formula for disaster. I can't disagree with you more. I think Rod Wood has been an asset. I think he's done really, really well in the business side of things, and I just don't understand the Rod Wood hate.
Yeah, I don't understand why do you think how do you think he makes a decision on the field? He doesn't touch the field. He doesn't touch the football side at all.
I think he's talking about the Braden Coombs thing that he signed off on the firing.
Okay.
So that is kind of a football decision, but that's based on what your coach is telling you.
Yeah, that's I'm with you, Jim. I don't agree with that at all. Let's move on.
Okay.
All right. Shad 216 JF. That's a wild name. I feel like some Lions fans assume that any news that are negative must be true, while positive news is just drinking the Kool-Aid. You know what, though? I think the Lions organization itself, just with the way that they have been run over the last few years, I think it's a true assessment. I think so. I think some positive news is positive news. Like the hiring of Spielman and Sanders, I believe that was good news. Some other fans think it's just a PR stunt, but I like that news. So I agree with that statement. It can be that way sometimes.
I think so too, but you have to understand, I think that we look at our team differently than the outside world looks at our team. And sometimes if you're just going to judge things on a basis where you're trying to be impartial, let's put it that way, and you just want to give out your take, sometimes it's not positive or negative, it's just the truth. So that's my take on that.
Yeah.
Chris Amick, I'm not sure I like this move. The Lions special team unit, along with Matthew Stafford, have been the only bright spot on this team the entire year. I'm get frustrated with the lack of communication, but he was trying to make something happen. The Lions obviously weren't going to stop the Titans' offense, so the only alternative was to keep their offense on the field. Just my opinion, bad move to fire Coombs. The more I think about this, the more I think it's just nothing. At first, I was a little more upset about it than probably I should have been, because like Kurt said, I think all these guys are going to be gone anyway, so that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, thinks that they're all going to be gone. Nobody was safe. All right, next up is Kingdom Thinker. Coombe has to call Marvin for unemployment like the rest of us. That's so sad.
Love that comment.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I have nothing to say about that one.
Doesn't matter who they Mike Taft, he says, doesn't matter who they fire, no one will be here in 3 weeks.
That is very correct. that is a
could be. I mean, Hank Fraley might stay. I don't know. That could be a guy that you.
Yeah.
But he'll probably get fired next week, so who cares?
Yeah. All right. Last one. Michaela Morris says, one vet to another, thank you for all you do, you had to endure. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that, man. It's one of those things for the military people who are serving or currently serving or have served. We have a different set of circumstances that we deal with, especially this time of year. So if you know someone that's in the military deployed, or somebody that has someone deployed, reach out to them and wish them a happy holidays and Merry Christmas. It means a lot this time of year.
It truly does, and I totally agree with you on that sentiment. We're going to go to the Detroit Lions news and the rumors that are about the Detroit Lions. So we're going to go into that right now. Lions rookie Julian Okwara was activated from IR. I mean, I don't know if we'll see him this week, but it's possible. Anthony Pittman to the COVID-19 list. Lions activate Everson Griffen, so we might get some pass rush. Won't matter, but we might. Reserve code from the reserve COVID list. And Danny Shelton returns to practice and is eligible to return from IR, I believe. I'm not positive on that.
He has to, they have to, I guess, he has to go through a couple of protocols, and then the Lions can say, okay, yeah, he's ready to practice. They have to kind of they have a certain amount of days to bring him back. When he returns to practice, they have, I think it's like 12 days or something like that to bring him back to the active roster, or he goes back on the list for the rest of the season. All right, next up is former Lions head coach Jim Caldwell. What up, Jim? Interviews for the Texans job. Hey, I'm glad to see him get another chance in the NFL.
Me too. I think he deserves it, and I hope he gets the job, to be honest. I like the guy. I have nothing bad to say about him. I just don't think he was the right fit at the right time here either. I'm not going to go into the Caldwell was our savior thing because I don't believe that at all. Injury report: Stafford limited in practice, but there's no plans to shut him down. Do you think they should shut him down?
I would. You know what? I'll say this: I was an advocate of that, but at this point, you're gonna have to drag him off the field to get him to sit down somewhere.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. All right. So, from broken leg to Pro Bowl, TJ Hockenson is thankful for the help along the way. He gives a big credit to his Iowa teammate out there in San Francisco, who's definitely helped him become better. Those Iowa tight ends are great, coming out of college. So, you have a few of them in the league, like Fant out there in Denver, and of course George Kittle. His think about this: Fant and Kittle are two of the best tight ends in the league as well, but they were behind Hockenson at Iowa. So that's how good this guy is.
Wow, I think the big thing here is that they came out with he had a broken leg. We didn't know that before.
Nah, we just thought it was the ankle and the concussion. We didn't think about being a broken leg. That's crazy.
Wow. Lions dealing with another COVID-19 outbreak. They canceled Tuesday's practice. There's a lot more about this. Kurt, do you have the other people that are involved in?
Yeah, we have the majority of the defensive coaching staff, but the two biggest names that are out right now because of this outbreak and isolation is the defensive coordinator, Corey Unlin, and interim head coach, Darrell Bevell. These guys are in isolations. They have to go to the NFL COVID protocol for testing to find out if they can coach on Saturday. And they have to have a series of negative tests to be able to coach in the game on Saturday. So fingers are crossed. So they should find out no later than tomorrow if they can coach on Saturday.
Okay, last but not least, Lions signed center John Top to the practice squad, cut offensive lineman Marcus Martin, and they activate Julian Okwara from injured reserve. That means he could play this week. That would be great.
The Okwara brothers playing.
And Griffen too.
Man, what do you think about one Okwara on one side and one on the other?
I like it. What do you think about Everson Griffen on one side, Romeo Okwara on the other, and the jack linebacker being Julian Okwara?
That'd be a good tandem, man. If we can get them all healthy and up to speed at the same time,
that'd be kind of fun to watch. We'd be kind of watching a little bit of the future, which is what we're kind of watching now.
That is definitely true.
Okay, let's go to the main course now. Let's get to this. These two people that the Lions have interviewed already internally. And the first one Kurt's going to do, that is Lance Newmark.
All right, Mr. Lance Newmark. He was a graduate of San Diego U or San Diego Mesa. He has 3 kids and a wife. Wife's name is Lacey. Oh, excuse me. 3 daughters are. Wife is Jennifer, and have Lacey, Kendall, and Anna are his daughters. He served with a special assistant to the Chargers when he came into the league. He has spent 23 years in the offices of the Detroit Lions. One guy, TJ Lane had to say, one guy that I hope he gets a chance to interview for the Lions GM spot. Lance Newmark has been with the team for 20 plus years. No one has been more invested in this team inside the building than Lance. That's from TJ Lang, former Lion, former Packer. All right. So Newmark is currently the director of player personnel for the Lions and has been since 2017 when Bob Quinn gave him that position. Newmark has actually been part of the Lions organization since 98. Well, that's a long time, brother. Before getting promoted, he primarily was in the college scouting department. The 2020 season will be Newmark's 4th as the Lions director of player personnel. So looking at this, he's an internal candidate. He's been around the team forever. Looking at that, over 20 years he's spent with the Lions. I still don't see a lot there, but he's just kind of been behind the scenes. I mean, you probably couldn't pick him out of a lineup if you didn't have his picture posted on the website.
The thing about him, he spent 23 years here. And in that 23 years, what have we done?
What have we accomplished?
I'm sorry. I don't. I mean, just because you're here a long time doesn't mean you're good.
No.
I'm not trying to diss the guy. I'm not. No. But just think about with me for a minute. Would you want to have someone as the GM of this organization that has been here for 23 miserable years? Pretty much.
Here's my thing. Is it now? I won't say he is, but is he part of the problem?
That's what I'm asking myself too. He's one of the people making decisions right now. That's for sure.
I don't know.
So let's go into Rob Lohman. It's kind of a similar situation. He's the internal GM candidate. He was a scout for the Texans from 2004 to 2007. The Lions assistant director of pro personnel from 2014 to 2016. He was a Lions assistant pro scout from 2016 to 2019, and Lions director of pro scouting from 2019 to right now. So he's the one that's kind of responsible with some of these GMs for hiring and or drafting the so-called talent that we have now. And yes, I said so-called talent.
Yeah.
So he's been with the organization again quite a long time. So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
You know what though? I'm gonna say this about these two guys. Now, I'm not gonna say anything really disparaging about these two guys. What I'm gonna say is that I think that the Lions took a look internal. They couldn't interview, right away. They couldn't interview, and they still can't interview anyone that's a current, holding a current position at a team right now. So they said, let's look at these two guys to kind of get the ball rolling, maybe kind of get a feel of how they wanted to conduct the interviews with the GM candidates. So where is a better place to start than in your own house? So let's get some practice interviews with the guys that we already have on hand.
It makes sense. I mean, he was a graduate assistant at Syracuse University. He earned his master's degree. So I mean, it's not like the guy isn't smart. Okay. But he was, that was in higher education. Yeah. But I'm worried it's the same old, same old. I guess that's my whole thing on these guys. I can't, in my internally inside of me, I can't say this is a complete start over when you still have these guys that have been in our organization, directing our scouting department, which if anybody has seen Tease Tabor or, you know, our long snapper lately, let me know. That's the problem. You know, the problem has been our drafting. Why would we go back to these guys? I have no idea.
I just think that there was a kick the tires type of let's get some practice doing this, how we get this interview process started, and let's go ahead and start with some guys that we have on staff so we can know how we want to interview and what we were looking for in the interview process. So I'm not really looking at those guys to be potential hires.
Okay, we mentioned quite a few of the players that were in and out and some of the coaches that were even in and out for this Saturday start, which is a strange thing. It's only on NFL Network, if you guys didn't know. So we're going to go to Kurt now for the injury report. And this is Wednesday's injury report from yesterday, just to let you know who's in, who's out, probably, and how they're trending.
Okay, let's look at some practice. Terrell Crosby still is no practice with the injury for his ankle. Galladay still can't flex that hip. Frank is still got that voice thing going with his throat, so he's out. Taylor Decker's new, a downgrade. He was pretty much out because of a groin injury. Now, these are estimated because of the fact that, you know, they didn't cancel practice yet. Cancel practice because of the fact of the COVID thing. So Matt Prater, no practice because of a back injury. This is a new injury. Haloti Vitae, concussion limited. He was an upgrade from a no practice. Darryl Roberts with the hip again. He was limited. Matthew Stafford, you know, number 9. Rib and thumb limited as well. An upgrade would be Mark Ford, would be a full practice yesterday if they did. And the aforementioned Julian Okwara with a knee was a full practice. It's his first injury report since being off the injury list. So those are your practice reports, the injury reports for the Wednesday practice. The pain train coming to a town near you.
Coming to us.
Hey, okay.
All aboard.
All aboard. All right. Speaking of that's the injury report for today. Now, you know what it is. If you play fantasy football, you know it's championship week, baby. And for championship news and advice and fantasy football, we go now to Taylor, the Featherman.
What's cracking, Detroit Lions on the Prowl faithful? It's your boy, Taylor Featherman, back for more on the Featherman's Fantasy Show. Glad to have you guys. This is it. This is championship week, week 16 of the NFL. It all comes down to this. And I want to say this before we get going into today's episode, because you've made it this far. If you're still playing fantasy football, you're in the championship. And that's a big deal. So I just live and die by your picks, right? Do what you do what you've done all season. You know, don't let this be the kind of thing where it comes down to like, if I would have just started such and such instead of bum James Conner, I'd have a championship. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. It's the worst place to be when you think that your overthinking has led to your demise. So don't do it. Take it from me. Don't do it. I mean, let it be the kind of thing where you've trusted this guy, you've rode with this guy all season. Let him carry you. Now, speaking of that, let's talk about some start versus sit advice. This one goes out to all my Detroit Lions familia. Matthew Stafford, start or sit. For me, this is a very, very easy one. I am 100% confident in Matthew Stafford as my starting quarterback this week, week 16, in the championship week. A couple weeks back, remember, against Chicago, a lights-out performance by old Matty Stafford. Pretty good against Green Bay, and then pretty good against Tennessee in the last two. Now, the things to keep in mind is, A, he's been battling an injury. B, he was pretty good fantasy-wise against the Titans, and he only played 3 of the 4 quarters. Now, I know Lions fans, and I'm sure the boys, Jim and Kurt, are talking about it, but there's some whispers out there that they might shut down Matthew Stafford for the season. I don't think so. Matthew Stafford's a gamer. He's a competitor. If he can play, he's going to play, and based off his performance last week, I think he's going to be healthy enough to give it a go, and I think he's going to play this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I think it's going to be a game where the Bucs kind of need that win, and the Lions obviously are eliminated at this point and don't, and they're just going to go out and just have a good time. Matthew Stafford's just going to sling the rock. So this week, championship week, I am 100% confident in starting my man, Matthew Stafford. Another big start or sit. This one's pretty obvious. He's, I think, the number one waiver priority in all of the league this week. Tony Pollard, and for good reason, week 15 against the San Francisco 49ers. 12 rushes, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns, 9 targets, 6 receptions, and 63 receiving yards. We talked about it earlier with Christian McCaffrey on episode 1 of 3. Having those running backs who get those receiving points in a PPR league is a game changer. That's what wins you leagues. And in this case, hopefully if you picked up Tony Pollard, he's not your RB1. He is a high ceiling RB2 or a great flex play. And if that's the case, you are in business this week in the championship game. Now let's move on for one last time to the Featherman's must-start player of the week. All right, for this week's Featherman's must-start player of the week, we're going to go back to our old friend from the week 1 of the show, Corey Davis, the Tennessee Titans wide receiver. Now listen, am I doing this just because I don't like to be wrong? Am I doing this because I think Corey Davis offers incredible flex / wide receiver 3 upside? Yeah, let's go with that. Let's plug Corey into your lineup as a guy who, I don't know, in a standard PPR league, I think is projected around 13 points. He was great against Cleveland in week 13. Now, after week 13, I came on this show and said, hey, must start. This guy will carry you through the playoffs. Half right, depending on what you did. Now, week 14, pretty rough for Corey Davis. But week 15, again, cover your ears, Detroit Lions fans, against the Lions, only 4 catches, but big yards and a touchdown. Another big week for Corey Davis, helping you out in the playoffs. And I think, again, that momentum is going to continue. To me, I think that A.J. Brown is a little bit dinged up. I don't think he's 100%. I mean, even 90% is still a lot because he's very, very fast, just sometimes drops the ball. But with that being said, I think Corey Davis is doing the right things at the right time, and I think that he stands for a very big matchup this weekend. And that's it, guys. That's Fantasy with Featherman. It's championship week. If you've made it this far, take a moment. Smell the roses. Fantasy championships are such a fickle thing, and they are so sweet when you can get your hands on them. And the bragging rights alone basically make them worth it in 99.9% of situations. But with that being said, I want to take a moment to wish all of you happy holidays from me, Taylor, the Featherman. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to get back to being just an abysmal gift wrapper. But Jim and Kurt, back to you guys, and happy holidays.
Hey, thanks, Taylor, for that wonderful advice for championship week in fantasy football. It is now time for the question of the day. Jim, you up. What you got?
Okay, would you hire anyone internally for the GM position, knowing what you know about this team?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Yes, that's a good question. Would you hire anyone internally for the GM job at this point in time? That's a good question.
It's a good question. Now it's time for my favorite segment of the show, if I could talk. The Dessert with Kurt.
All right. We spoke earlier in the show about Jim Caldwell being interviewed by the Houston Texans. Now, here is an interesting tidbit, right? Let me get this guy's name right. Dan Wetzel, who is a writer for Yahoo Sports, says Jim Caldwell interviewed for the Houston Texans job. If hired, he would be the first former Detroit Lions head coach to get another head coaching job since the 1960s.
Whoa. Well, they don't trend well after they leave here, do they?
That tread runs off the road when they leave Detroit. They go back to being a coordinator, or they just leave football. So yeah, that is the dessert of the day. I thought that was an interesting tidbit that no former Lions head coach has been hired as another head coaching position since the 60s. That's a long time.
That's a long time, man. I just want to thank everybody for rocking with us. Have a very Merry Christmas. We're going to be off until Monday. Yesterday we had some technical difficulties. Sorry about that. We generally have a show every day, Monday through Friday for you, but yesterday just kind of went off the rails for us. Sorry about that. If you could you hit the like button, do all those things? I mean, that's just something that we would really love you to do, and subscribe to the channel, all those nice things. But most of all, just have a resting time this weekend. Enjoy time with your family if you can. It is a COVID Christmas, so be careful and be safe, everybody. And from everybody here at Detroit Lions on the Prowl, I just wanted to say thank you for everything that you've done for us this year. Thank you for giving us the incredible numbers that we had, and I just appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. Hey, like Jim said, have a very safe and merry Christmas. We know it's a COVID Christmas, so stay safe with your family. This will be around the people, your loved ones. If you have a gathering, please do it outside and be social distance, so you keep yourself and your loved ones safe this holiday season. And please, like I said earlier, if you know someone that's isolated, either deployed or, military or not, this is a key time of year that people can get very lonely and they need someone. So reach out to them. Tell them Merry Christmas. Tell them you love them. And that could just definitely make their day, that you're thinking about them. And that's one way to make sure that the people that you care about have a very Merry Christmas. So, and as always, join the family. Subscribe to the channel. Watch the premieres that happen Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock. Through the super chats, and that's 11 a.m. Through the super chats, that's a way to get your comments right up front for us to read on the show. And as always, like the videos, share the videos, comment, answer the question of the day, and just be part of the Detroit Lions on the Prowl family. We really appreciate all that you do for us right here on a channel. Now, you know what you got to do, baby. Whatever you do in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. From my man Jim, right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. This is Kurt Steele, and have a happy holidays.